Hi, I'm Christine Sensnig Miller. I'm a certified massage therapist and yoga teacher in Goshen, Indiana, and I work with Giving Tree Massage. Um, this is the first in a series of home yoga workshop videos where I'm going to guide you in developing your own home yoga practice. I'm recording this first video during the coronavirus pandemic. In our area, we have a stay-at-home order from our governor, so as you might guess, no massage therapy or in-person yoga is happening right now. Um, so I'm making this video for my clients and the clients of my coworkers, as well as anyone else who has had their regular routine with bodywork or movement disrupted by the pandemic. This is a unique opportunity for us all to learn more about the power we have to positively affect our own well-being versus feeling dependent on someone else to do it for us. You can always, most of the time, pay your massage therapist to help with your muscular tension and pain, as well as your overall stress. But I would argue that developing tools that allow you to work with those things on your own will ultimately provide you with even more benefit. So what we have going on right now around the world is an opportunity to develop and grow those skills. This home yoga workshop series is for anyone who, anywhere, at any time, wants to explore the vast benefits offered by a consistent yoga practice, especially one that's tailored to your specific needs and abilities. So feel free to share this video with anyone who fits into any of those categories. Let's talk a bit more about why we're doing this, especially at this time. Yoga is a contemplative breathing and moving practice. It's a tool for communicating with your nervous system to help you shift gears. You can use your breath, along with your steady, intentional movement, to change how you're thinking and how you're experiencing the world. Yoga is a method of quieting your mind and caring for your body. When you're able to intersect with the world from a more steady and centered state, the effects of your practice go far beyond your personal benefit and far beyond the fairly obvious health benefits. But as for health benefits, let's talk about those. So there are many physical benefits that we can gain from yoga. They include 1, building strength, 2, increasing balance, 3, decreasing tension, stiffness, and immobility. 4, relieving pain, as in acting like natural pain management. 5, reducing risk of injury. 6, gaining greater freedom of movement or of motion. 7, increasing athletic performance. And 8, countering work-related repetitive strain. So that's 8. We could go on, but let's switch gears and start looking at mental health benefits of yoga. They include 1, exercising your brain, 2, creating emotional equilibrium, 3, honing your focus, 4, increasing your confidence and sense of agency, 5, increasing your sense of contentment, peace, and well-being, 6, increasing your overall stamina and energy. 7, quieting your mind. So that's 7, but again, that's just a start. Most of all, this type of practice is about positively affecting how you think and act. On that topic, I want to share a quote from one of my favorite yoga teachers. His name is Eric Schiffman. He said, "The apparently simple benefits that accrue from the regular practice of yoga can change your life in very profound ways. Do not underestimate the value of being balanced, centered, and coordinated, of being strong and light, of being more flexible without pain, experiencing the subsequent feeling of transparency, and of being more sensitive. Yoga will make you sensitive to the stillness, the presence, the hush, the peace. This deep inner stillness is at the core of your being. It is the ground, the joy of your being." And Eric Schiffman has written a book called Yoga, the Spirit and Practice of Moving into Stillness, and that's where this comes from. So clearly, yoga is not just a physical practice. Let's talk a bit about how we're doing this and how we're going to give you the chance to gradually explore yoga and integrate it into your life in a way that works for you. This is a self-paced program that is progressive, so it gets more involved and complex as you go. Today, we're starting at the very beginning. I encourage you to stick with this beginning practice until it's really easy and feels really accessible for you. Depending on your past experience and physical abilities, that may happen after one time through. Other people will do the same practice for several weeks, and some people might stick with it as the only practice that they'll ever do. Any of those scenarios is great. This is entirely self-paced and you're in charge, and it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing by any means. Tomorrow I'll release my level 2 video, but you can choose when you want to try that out. So it's just there for whenever you're ready. All the same instructions apply for level 2 and so forth. It's entirely self-paced. By working with yoga this way, bit by bit, you'll gain experience and knowledge about which poses and movements are the most important for you to do based on your own needs, goals, preferences, and abilities. At that point, you can start to self-guide your own practice to whatever degree you're comfortable, and we'll talk more about that as we get to that point. Let's go over a few details and instructions. So, 1, I expect you to take responsibility for your experience. Pay attention. Listen to your body. Don't do anything that hurts or feels like a bad idea. Challenge yourself, but be gentle. Find that balance between effort and ease that feels just right for you and your unique situation. There isn't a one-size-fits-all way to do this. Number 2, everything I say is a suggestion and never a requirement. So if your body has different instructions to you than what I'm leading, please listen to that as the higher authority. I will offer modifications and suggestions as we go. This practice is yours, and if you're practicing at home, nobody can see what you're doing, hopefully, or at least just your family and your pets. So make it yours, make it work for you. Number 3, I'm going to make the compulsory disclaimer. This program is not intended to replace medical advice and should not be construed as such. So by opting to continue, you're agreeing to do so at your own risk. And 4, about music, I'm not usually going to play music during these videos because I don't want to compete with it sound-wise, and I want you to be able to choose what you listen to when you practice. So if you want tunes, go ahead and pause this video and go turn on whatever you feel will help you focus and feel like moving. Now that we have some idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it, let's get started with level 1. Level 1 includes movements that are accessible to most people and it doesn't even involve getting on the floor. This means you can use this practice in any situation where getting on the floor isn't an option, no matter who you are. You can use it when traveling, while at work, during odd times when you'd otherwise be standing around. That is, when we return to our normal lives. This is also a great practice for people who don't yet have a yoga mat, which we'll be talking more about next time. Therapeutically, this is a particularly applicable sequence for people who spend a lot of time at the computer, as well as those who experience a lot of upper body tension in general. And of course, this is a go-to practice for anyone who has difficulty getting on and off the floor, because we will be doing that in the future levels of practice here. So this is a great place to start if getting on the floor doesn't work. It does require that you be able to stand. So for those who can't stand, there are ways to practice yoga entirely from a chair or wheelchair, but that will have to be a different video. Feel free to request that below. I'll eventually make a sequence and just specifically for people where standing up isn't a good option. All right, let's get started. You find someplace in your house where you have enough space to move your arms. You're not going to hit anything, but you don't need a super big amount of space. We're going to start with mountain pose. So this is a classic yoga pose that you can do anywhere as long as you can stand up. Check your feet out first. We're going to build each standing pose from our feet up, starting with mountain pose. So feet are hip width, toes point straight ahead. Make the insides of your feet, make 2 parallel lines. Feet are as wide as the outsides of your hips. Stack your hips over your ankles. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Let your shoulders relax down away from your ears. The sides of your neck go long. Let the crown of your head extend up towards the ceiling, so it's almost like you have a string attached to the middle of your head there, and it's pulling you up. Everything's lining up with that string. Go ahead and close your eyes here. Start to breathe deep, steady, even breaths. Feeling your body's natural, easeful alignment. Make any adjustments that you need to do so that you can feel as tall and spacious as possible, so that your breath can be as big and steady as possible, so that you can feel your whole body expand with each inhale and empty with each exhale. Using your breath to affect your nervous system. Keep a little bit of your awareness on your breath the whole time that we practice, working to make it steady and even, equal lengths for your inhales and your exhales. And then next inhale, open your eyes. Open your eyes, take your arms out to a T, palms facing forward like this. Next inhale, take your arms back, lift your chest, look up, let the front of your body lengthen. Next exhale, palms together, chin towards your chest, back of the neck stretches out, make space between your shoulder blades. Next inhale, arms wide, lift your chest, look up, lengthen the front. Next exhale, palms together, chin towards your chest, stretch out back of the neck and between your shoulder blades. So keep going now with your own rate of breath. Every inhale, you're opening. Every exhale, you're closing. You're letting the movements of your body mirror the movements of your lungs. That's what we're doing a lot of the time in yoga. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see the side view of this. Notice how I'm not hinging forward at my hips at all. I'm standing really upright. My arms, shoulders, and neck are moving. This is called open hearts. You could call it other things too, but that's one name for it. All right, come back to mountain pose. Take your right arm in a circle like this. Now, bring breath to it. On the inhale, arm goes up. On the exhale, it goes back and down. Inhale up, exhale back and down. If your shoulder feels fine with this, we are going to add momentum using movements through the legs. So on the inhale, it goes up. Exhale, bend the knees, arm swings down. So we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep going. The exhale here is going to be a little faster because we're really creating momentum, using the movement of the body to swing that arm. Your muscles are working to bring the arm up, but then they're relaxing and just letting gravity move the arm down and forward. Can we make a little forceful exhale? All right, you got the idea. Shake that arm out. See how that shoulder feels? Other side. Couple times, arm in a circle. Make sure the shoulder is okay. If you have shoulder pain or issues, you can stick with this nice slow circle without adding momentum. But if it's okay, we're gonna add that momentum. So we inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. This actually comes from Qigong. So we're stealing it from the practice of Qigong, which is not actually yoga, but it's close enough. And this movement is useful. It's useful for shoulder tension. So I just call this Qigong Arm Circles, a little hybrid. All right, shake out that arm, see how that shoulder feels. Okay, back to mountain pose. Exhale. Inhale, arms come up, look up, lengthen the front of your body, palms together. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Right hand reaches forward, left hand reaches back, and you turn to look over your left hand. Now hold this and breathe and just feel this. Feel how your arms are parallel to the floor and you're reaching through both sets of fingertips actively, as long of a wingspan as you can muster. Next inhale, unwind, come back up, reach up, look up, lengthen the front. Exhale, twist to the right, look over your right fingers. Same thing, let's hold this and breathe. Reach. Whenever your arms are outstretched in a yoga posture, you want them to be active and like you're getting as long as you can through both sets of fingers. Fingers spreading, reaching. All right. Next inhale, come back up to center. Reach up, look up. Now we're going to keep going with the breath. Exhale, twist left. Right hand reaches to the right wall, left hand reaches back. Look over the left hand. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, twist right, look back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Next exhale, mountain pose. So that's called a standing torso twist. A lot of these beginning movements are fairly basic. They're not classical yoga poses, but they're using the concepts of yoga, bringing breath and movement together, helping you learn how to work with your body in this moving and breathing practice. So now, something that's a little more classical, a half sun salutation. We're going to start in mountain pose, and actually I'm going to turn so you can see this from the side. We're going to start in mountain pose, set it up same way we did before, stack everything up, and exhale. On the inhale, let your arms come up, look up, pause here, and breathe. While you're here, let your shoulders sink down away from your ears. So what we don't want, let me show this from the back. What we don't want is the shoulders reaching up, 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 up like this. What we do want is the shoulders, the shoulder blades anchored down on the rib cage while the arms are reaching up, up, up. So it's different. We want a lot of space through the sides of the neck, shoulders anchored down. That's true anytime you're doing this kind of movement, which we do a lot in yoga. All right, so Now we exhale, we're gonna fold forward. To do this, you're gonna hinge in your hips, bend your knees a little bit, let your belly come towards your thighs, and then hang. Forward fold. Keep breathing here a couple of breaths. This movement is really important to learn well. And if this is painful for you, I want you to come up more and support yourself with your hands so you're not folding so far down. If you have herniated disc issue, hopefully you've received instructions about what kind of movements are appropriate. Forward folding is not always appropriate. Listen to your body, listen to your doctor. Ask questions if you're not sure. All right, forward fold. Your neck is relaxed and hanging, arms are hanging, your low back feels like it's lengthening out. We have the knees bent enough that there's not too much tension through the hamstrings. Okay, next thing, hands to shins. You're gonna look up, make your spine long, make the backs of your legs long. So we call this a flat back. This pose is actually called half arch, but we're flattening out the spine. You have support on your legs to help you out. You'll feel a little more stretch in your hamstrings probably because you can straighten out your legs here since we're not hanging anymore. We're not hinging from the hips. It's more like a 90-degree angle. Head to tailbone, tailbone to backs of the ankles. Then exhale back down, forward fold. Your knees are gonna bend, hips are gonna hinge. You hang. Neck is relaxed. Next inhale, we're gonna stand up. This part is really important. You're gonna look up first. Start flattening out your back. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Use your legs to help you stand up with a nice flat back. You reach up, look up, lengthen the front. Arms are up. Your whole front of the body is lengthening. Core is working. And then exhale, mountain pose. That was one round of a half sun salutation. So let's do that some more until we get to the point where breath and movement are coming together. Standing mountain pose, exhale. Inhale, arms up, look up, lengthen the whole front of the body. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the chest, hinge in the hips, soften the knees, come down, hang, just for one exhale here. Inhale, hands to shins, look up, straighten out the backs of the legs, let the spine go long. Flat back. Exhale, forward fold, back down to where we were, hanging. Inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, use your legs, flat spine, we're looking up, stand up. Long front of the body as we get up. Exhale, mountain pose. Great. It's good to do about 5 of these in a row because the first 1 or 2 are kind of creaky and rusty, especially if you've been sitting around. Third one starts to feel like things are flowing and moving. You have some grease in the joints. 4th and 5th one, it starts to feel good. So we've done 2. Let's keep going. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, long front. Exhale, forward fold. Chest is leading, hips are hinging. Hang. Inhale, half arch. Flat back, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, use the legs, stand up with a long spine, reach up, lengthen the front. Exhale, mountain pose. That was 3. Let's keep going. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half arch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Long front. Exhale, mountain pose. That was 4. Last one, I'm only going to cue the breath. Let your body remember what movements correspond with the breath. That's how the magic of yoga starts. So, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Back to mountain pose. You start doing that a couple more times, you'll have it memorized and it will be something you can do whenever you have a couple minutes and need to move and breathe and work with the tension. It takes less than a minute to do 1, so you can do 5 in less than 5 minutes. Come back to mountain pose. Now, pretend that your nose is a pencil, and we are going to use that pencil to draw a really big, slow circle around the room. This is good for neck and shoulder tension. So point that pencil down at the floor. The rest of the body is still in mountain pose. So you're really tall. It's just the neck is going forward. Pencil pointing down at the floor, down towards your feet. With your slow, steady, even breath, breathing at your own rate, we're going to go to the right, drawing that circle to the right along the floor. And then you start going up the right wall. As you do, you're going to look as far as you can over the right shoulder, so your head is turning back as much as it can. And then you're drawing that circle slowly across the ceiling. Your shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears while you do this. And this can be an interesting experience if your neck is really tight. So go slow. Allow yourself to feel little muscles of the neck lengthening bit by bit. So going across the ceiling. Then we're coming down the left wall. You're going to look as far as you can over your left shoulder. And then work along the floor. All the way back to where we started. That was 1 time around. Let's go the other way. We have to make this even. So now, drawing that circle to the left along the floor, going up the left wall, going across the ceiling, following out those muscles that don't usually get to move this way. Going down the right wall, looking behind you as much as you can on the way down, looking over the right shoulder. Down across the floor. Back to where we started. Let your head come back up. Neck lined up with the rest of the spine. Back to mountain pose. I call that nose as a pencil a neck stretch. That's not classical yoga. It's still valuable though. So now, mountain pose. We're going to inhale. Exhale, look over your left shoulder as far as you can. Inhale, come back to mountain pose, look straight ahead. Exhale over the right shoulder as far as you can. Inhale, back. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Slow breath, slow movement. Inhale, center. Mountain pose. Great. That's called neck stretch. Look left, look right. But slowly and with intention and as far as you can. So it's different than when you're driving and just trying to check traffic. So now mountain pose. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach up, look up. Interlace your fingers like this and press your palms up to the ceiling so that your forearms are stretching out here. Your shoulders are still down away from your ears, so you're not pulling them up. Shoulders are anchored down, arms are reaching up, arms are long, look up. Next, exhale, side bend to the right. Hold this and breathe. Look up past your left arm. So you're gonna feel your hip shifting to the left. You can imagine someone standing here poking your right hip to help both hips shift to the left. So you're making a C shape through the left side of your body. You're gonna use the core muscles and abdominal muscles on the left side to help hold this. You're gonna feel length through the whole left side. Do this in a mirror sometime if you have access to a mirror that would show this view. Look for your C curve. A lot of people don't realize how much they can move into this till they see it. Next inhale, come up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, side bend to the right, hips traveling to the right. Right side is stretching. Both feet are grounded down, but the hips travel right. You're looking up past your right arm and breathing. And this is just a side bend. There are different ways, different versions of a side bend, but this one's nice. Next inhale, come back up. Look up. Exhale, release your arms down. That feels pretty good by now. Take your hands behind you and interlace your fingers like this. If that is not an option because of shoulder tension, you can do this, or whatever degree you can. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. So if you can just hang on to your forearms, that's fine. If you can get to your elbows, that's fine. Or you can do this full version. All of this requires some movement through the shoulders. So we have the arms anchored back there in some fashion. The rest of the body is in mountain pose. Shoulders are going back and down. Inhale, taw. Then exhale, right ear towards right shoulder. So the left side of your neck is lengthening. You feel stretching through there. Shoulders anchored down. That's part of what makes it work. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, neck stretch to the left. The right side is stretching. So this is a side bend just for your neck. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Left side stretches. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Right side stretches. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. That's a standing upper trap stretch. We're stretching upper traps as well as some other muscles, your scalenes, and there at the side of the neck. But before you let your arms go, let's add on to this. So you're still having your arms back there with whatever you were doing. Next exhale, forward fold. If your fingers are interlaced, you're gonna let those clasped hands travel up towards the ceiling for a nice shoulder stretch. Your head and neck are relaxed. Shoulders getting a good stretch. Rest of the body getting a forward fold. If you aren't putting your hands in this position, you're just gonna have your arms on your back like this. I guess you could even lift that up a little bit. Various ways to modify. You figure out how to make the pose work for you. Okay, this is called standing seal. Neck is still relaxed. The names do matter. I'll be talking about that probably in the next video. Why would you want to know the names of the poses? You do. We'll talk about it next time. Okay, release your arms. Hang in a regular forward fold. Let's take opposite hand to opposite elbow like this so that your head can hang in that frame created by your arms. You can let your body sway side to side a little bit here so that you're alternately lengthening one side of the upper body and then the other. So it's a forward fold, but we're dangling and hanging a little bit more than what we were doing. Let the neck be all the way relaxed. And let your arms hang again. Exhale here. And now inhale, chair pose. We're gonna bend the knees, sit in an imaginary chair, bring your arms up. It's like your arms are reaching up to where the wall and ceiling meet overhead. And then you have a nice long back. Your tailbone is tucked, so you're not having a big arch in your low back. Tuck the tailbone. Your hips are back. Your knees are bending, but you can still see your toes past your knees. That part's important. If your knees are too far forward, it's not good for the knees. So check to make sure you can see your toes. Your weight is moving backwards. Chair pose. Hold this and breathe. Next inhale, stand up, reach up. Exhale, mountain pose. Okay. Stand up, palms together. We're going to look at chair pose again, but we're going to make it a twisting chair this time. So let me show you this, and then you can start working into it. So I'm going to create chair pose. My hands come together in front of my heart, and then I'm going to twist to the left, okay? If I can, I'm going to take my right elbow to the left knee. I'm pushing both palms into each other. My forearms are making a line. And then I can use that to help my torso twist to the left as far as I can. Maybe I can even look up on the ceiling. So you're really turning the upper body left. Okay, this is a twisting chair. We're going to do a little thing with this. So enough on this side. So try it out if you haven't. And then we're going to exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, same thing to the right. I'm going to turn so you can see this side. I have my feet and knees hip width. I'm sitting in my chair. All the same things about chair apply, except my upper body is twisting to the right, pushing into my palms, looking past my right arm, and breathing. If you can't get your left arm to your right knee, you can be up higher. It's okay. Last exhale here. Inhale, unwind, reach up, look up. Now we're going to go side to side. with the breath. So on the exhale, twisting chair to the left. On the inhale, come back up. On the exhale, twisting chair to the right. Turning that torso, turning the belly. Inhale, come up. Exhale, left. Knees equal, not one knee jutting forward. Keep an eye on that, it's easy to do. Pay attention to your knees. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. Big breath, steady breath. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. And exhale, mountain pose. Roll your shoulders around, shake it out. Shake out your arms. Now, you next are going to need a chair. I'm going to grab my folding chair over here. You can use any chair. A folding chair is good. A kitchen chair is fine. Any chair with a back. Stand behind the chair. If you need to pause the video to get your chair, you can do that. When you have it, hands are on the back of the chair, standing behind the chair. You're going to keep your hands here for balance. Walk your feet back. Hinge in your hips 90 degrees. So it's a 90-degree angle right here. You have one line from your hips down to your ankles. Another line from your low back out through your arms. Neck is relaxed. You don't need to have unnecessary tension in the neck here. And your feet are still like a mountain pose. Your feet are hip width. Your toes are pointing straight ahead. The back is lengthening. Shoulders are stretching. This is a modification of downward facing dog pose, which we'll be meeting in a later video. It's a very classical yoga pose, but we can get a lot of the benefits of downward facing dog even when we're not down on the floor, which is how it's usually done. We can even exercise our feet and toes here because they really matter. And the more you practice yoga, the stronger, more flexible your feet will be, and the more dexterity you'll have. But let's start working with it here. Let's lift all of our toes up as high as we can. And then on both sides, you're going to put your little toe down. Make a lot of space. Put your next toe down. A lot of space. Next toe. A lot of space. Your fourth toe. A lot of space. Your big toe. Spread your feet really wide. Think really fat, wide feet. That will benefit you as we start to get into more complicated poses and we do more with balance. If you can have a nice, fat, wide base for your balance poses, it gets a lot easier. And you do that by spreading your feet. It's also great for foot health, taking care of your arches, reducing foot pain. Usually our feet are all bound up with shoes and socks. So here they get to spread and work. All right, enough of this. Let's inhale, look up. Walk your feet forward. Little back bend here. Front of the body lengthening. You're using your core so that your back is protected. Look up. And then exhale, mountain pose. Now, we're going to sit on that chair. I'm going to turn the chair so you can see me, but you do whatever works with your chair. Sit on the chair. And you may see where we are. Okay, let's sit in the chair as if you're in mountain pose. So feet are hip width, knees are hip width, hands are on your knees, spine is tall, shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears, neck is long, crown of the head reaching up. Same thing as standing up. It's just you're not standing up anymore. So we're gonna do a few things here that you can do anytime you're sitting. Let's do cat and cow pose. So I should actually turn the chair so you can see this from the side. Okay, on the exhale, head and tailbone curl in, middle of the spine pushes back. I'm curling my spine in this kind of C shape. And then inhale, let's go the other way, curling the spine in this kind of C shape, making the curve here through your low back and mid back. Look up, neck is part of the spine, so we make that part of the curve. Let's do this with the breath. On the exhale, curl in, middle of the spine is going back. On the inhale, head up, belly forward, tailbone back. Exhale. This is called cat pose in a chair. Inhale, cow pose in a chair. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come back to mountain pose. Now, take your left knee and pull your left knee in like this. Get really tall. Let your left knee go side to side. So we're starting to warm up the hip joint for a hip stretch. If it feels okay, left ankle on top of the right knee. Okay, so I'll turn again, learning how to do this. So you're set up like this. Okay, you're really far on the edge of the chair. I might not have emphasized that enough, but you're sitting on the edge of the chair so that you're really tall. Left ankle on top of the right knee. See if this is okay. If your knee is bothering you, just step out of this and you can keep doing this pose. If your knee is okay, this is a great thing to do for the hip. So take the leg side to side a bit. If it's still okay, start coming forward. So as the left knee moves millimeters down towards the ground, you're going to get more of a stretch in your left hip, okay? And you're going to come forward until the stretch is just right. And breathe. Can use your right leg here as a support for your left leg. Move the right leg side to side. The left leg will also move. You can feel that changing where the stretch is in the left hip a little bit. Later on, so next video actually, we'll do a bunch with hip stretches. And that is really valuable for helping with low back tension. Just, yeah, when you have a lot of low back tension, it's often related to the hips not being able to move much, the outer hips. And if we can get them to move, it's gonna ease up the pull on the low back. Next inhale, come up, pull the knee in, get tall, and then set that leg down. Same thing on the other side, we pull the right knee in, make the spine really tall, take it side to side, warming up that right hip joint, and then the hip stretch. This is called figure 4 in a chair. Figure 4, also known as thread the needle hip stretch. Now, I have a bit of an issue on my right side, so I don't stretch as far on the right side. A bit of a knee and hip issue. So see how it feels for you. Make sure your knee is okay. If it does feel okay, start to go forward. You'll know when it's forward enough and when it's just right for you. Hang out there. Stretch the right hip. Using the left leg to move the right hip. Steady, even breath as you do this. Come to center for a moment. Then inhale, come up, get tall. And then put your right foot down, take your feet wide. You're still on the edge of the chair, feet are wide, hands are on your knees. Inhale, get tall. And then exhale, hinge in your hips and come forward like this. So hands stay on the knees. You're really hinging in the hips. If this feels fine, hands can come down. They may or may not touch the floor. They go as far towards the floor as you want. Maybe your palms even touch the floor. If they do, you put them between your feet, letting the crown of the head move down. This is a forward fold in the chair. Just another way to do forward fold. It's a little different sensation. It's a little more of a hip stretch in addition to a forward fold. Neck is relaxed. Next exhale, hands back to your knees. Next inhale, hands help you stand up. Get tall. Come back to your mountain pose. Sit really tall. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. And we're going to wrap up with a bit of a meditation here in the seated mountain pose. I'm going to check my camera. Yay, we're still recording. I wasn't sure. So, hands are on your knees. Everything else like mountain pose. Crown of the head reaching up, shoulders down. Close your eyes. Let yourself breathe. Filling and emptying the lungs all the way. Each inhale, each exhale. So paying attention to all parts of the lungs. A lot of us tend to breathe without using the full capacity of the lungs. We're just using often a little bit of the upper part of the lungs without taking the breath all the way down into the lower lungs. So pay attention to that while you breathe. Lungs filling and emptying all the way. Feeling your body's natural alignment. Scan your body, see where you're still holding any tension. Each exhale, try to release tension from wherever you find it in the body. So exhale by exhale, letting go a little more. Pay attention to the muscles in your face, especially your jaw. All the muscles around the skull, all the face muscles. See what muscular tension you can find and what muscular tension you can dissolve. Then keep going, scanning the body. Softening, making space as you go. Make these some of the deepest and slowest breaths that you've taken. Find your internal steadiness. Get quiet. Exist as you are. No judgment. No analysis. No protection. No fear. No holding. No resentment. No need to change. Let go of these tensions, these non-physical tensions, a little bit more with each exhale. Be paused. Be still. Be free. Simply be and breathe. See what it is that wants to come through when you're really quiet. And deepen your breath again. Start moving around a little bit. Start coming back. Coming back to this body. So move your hands and shoulders, feet. Start waking up. And then open your eyes. For yoga practice. But these are important movements for any human body to know how to do. So even if physically you're able to do more, make sure that you also know all these basics because they're invaluable, especially for times when you can't get on the floor or can't do fancier stuff that you might learn down the road. Let's talk a bit about where to go from here. I believe few things will do what a steady and consistent yoga practice will do. So to reap any of the benefits, you have to put in some time and it has to become a natural part of your life. Start thinking now about how to build a bit of yoga into your routine. You want it to become something that happens automatically in the course of your days rather than something extra that you have to choose to do from amidst all the other things that are competing for your attention. Know that if your yoga practice does not simply become a part of your routine, it will fizzle. That's just the way of things. So no matter what level of yoga practice you're doing, I encourage you to spend at least 15 minutes working with it 6 days a week. It doesn't have to be my thing. You can create your own sequence or tap into a variety of online resources. This will get easier the more you learn as you go along and find your way around in the yoga world. But practicing 6 days a week allows your mind, body, and schedule to adapt what's going on and to integrate the changes. Practicing consistently means that it doesn't have to feel like a random and novel thing for either your body or your mind. And you can choose like your 7th day, your rest day, you could have it be the same day every week, or you could just save that for the days that are just too busy and yoga doesn't fit in with what's going on. That's what I do. The rest days are when yoga can't happen. So comment below about where you'll put your yoga practice in your routine. It could be a specific time, or you could attach your practice to something else that's already happening in the course of your day, like after coffee, or after shower, or before dinner, or before bed. So work with that and do some experiments. It takes some experimentation. That's one of the wonderful things about practicing on your own, is you get to get a sense of your own biorhythm and see where does it feel most natural and easeful for you to practice during your day versus having it being a time that someone else sets. Okay, so I'm considering offering one-on-one yoga consult sessions over Zoom so that I can help any of you out if you have questions or want to check on your alignment or want me to troubleshoot anything that's going on with your practice. I'm not entirely sure that I'm gonna do that, but if there's enough interest, I probably will. If you are interested in that, you can comment below this video, or you can email givingtreemassage@gmail.com and we'll go from there. To find more practices, follow this channel. I'll be adding a bit more here bit by bit. You can also check out this channel for additional announcements and additional practices. I'll label any of my announcement videos about future offerings as simply announcements. Yeah, I'm definitely figuring this out as I go along with so much of the world right now as we navigate our way through the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, thanks so much for watching and for practicing with me. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and come back.